And we're back in Miami, and once again the elimination scenario for the Colts: a loss or a tie today and a Texan win, or combination of wins by those four teams. Keep in mind that the Colts held destiny in their own hands last week before they lost to Houston. They would have been in position to wrap it up today, and Chuck Pagano says it's been our own fault, no question about it, and now they're going to have to win and get some help. And meanwhile, Dan Campbell, the interim head coach, came in after 4 games of the season, and he said physically last week when they were blown out in San Diego, we showed up. Mentally, we did not. Miami won the toss and they will defer, and so the Colts will get the ball first. Quan Bray, who has added a lot of juice to the return game for the Colts in the last several weeks, will try to return the opening kick. Andrew Franks, a rookie for the Dolphins, and it's going to be returnable for sure from the 5. Bray doesn't quite get to the 20-yard line, and so the Colts go to work. They have been feeble offensively, only 2 offensive touchdowns in the last 3 games. Matt Hasselbeck has taken a pounding. He's had to come out of the last 3 games due to injury. Won the first 4, dropped the last 3.
That's going to have to start with the run game today. They have got to get Frank Gore going, who is happy to be coming back for a homecoming here in Florida. But if they don't get first and second down production to stay ahead of the chains, it's going to be a long day, and he's going to get sacked by this front 4.
And a first down. Hasselbeck's pass is deflected and nearly intercepted, intended for T.Y. Hilton, and nearly picked off by Rashad Jones, who's a little upset this week that he wasn't named to the Pro Bowl team. He had counted on it, but Jones nearly had an interception there.
He should be upset, and rightfully so, because there's no reason why he should not be playing in the Pro Bowl. He's the only player in the NFL with 100+ tackles and 5 interceptions, and leads all defensive backs in the NFL with tackles.
Second down and 10 on the 16. Dolphins defense, though, has been porous to say the least. Here's Hasselbeck with a quick release, completes the pass, first down to Andre Johnson, the ageless one, who played his college ball at the University of Miami. And there are so many players who have either played for the Dolphins or are coming back home where they played in college or high school.
Great start for Matt Hasselbeck. His ability to get the ball out of his hands quick is going to be huge today, because if they're in those 3rd and long positions like they have been in close, tough games, especially in the second half, this offense does not function the way it needs to.
Not at all. A 12-yard gain and a first down at the 28. Frank Gore, with his first carry of the game, is stopped by Rashad Jones at the line of scrimmage. That's the man who has to really carry the ball. Needs 22 yards coming in for the most rushing yards for a Colt running back since 2007.
This is a football player. He is everything that you want in a running back. Tough, gritty, excellent in pass protection. He is a bright spot in a tough time that this team is going through.
11th year. And another University of Miami alum. Second down and 10. Play action where Hasselbeck steps up, and the great catch is made by Gore. The pass was thrown behind him, made a one-handed grab before Vigil got him. And Zach Vigil starting his first game at linebacker for the Dolphins, gain of 4.
And it was great talking to Frank Gore, because I asked him, well, it was great to see the production for Danny Woodhead last week, how he caught out of the backfield. He goes, I don't want to catch the football. I want to run. I want to get downhill, and I want to play smash mouth.
So it'll be 3rd down and 6. Hasselbeck on 3rd down gets time, and the pass is caught at the 40 by Hilton for a first down, an 8-yard pickup. Hilton complaining of the play calling last week, didn't get enough chances, but gets the first down there.
Well, nice protection up front by the offensive line. They're going to slide their protection to Ndamukong Suh. And one of the matchups that we're going to have to watch today is on the left side, Anthony Costanzo versus Olivier Vernon. Because of the ability of Ndamukong Suh in this offensive line, Costanzo is going to be a lot of one-on-one positions.
Moving the ball upfield, and a whistle and a penalty marker. Gene Steratore is the official, and we might have had too many men on the field.
Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
12 men on the field for the Dolphins and a 5-yard penalty. First down and 5. So 5 and 9 teams. It's kind of unusual to have that kind of a penalty with too many men on this early in the game.
It really is, and it goes back to the fundamentals of football. Alignment, assignment. Get your guys in, get your personnel in, and let your guys play.
You see Gore moving as a receiver to the right, looking that way. Then the ball is tipped by a Dolphin linebacker, and Ndamukong Suh incomplete, and another flag is down. Second in as many plays.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact. Defense, number 52. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
So Kelvin Shepard, the middle linebacker. 2 straight penalties against the Dolphins. So Matt Hasselbeck, who won his first 4 games and then has dropped his last 3, but injuries playing a big role in that one. And of course, coming in for the injured Andrew Luck, who they thought might be back around this time, but still unable to get back with a lacerated kidney and torn abdominal muscle. So 2 penalties and a first down. And Frank Gore with the carry moves the pile and a pickup of 5. Take a look at the Colts offense. As we said, paltry lately as far as their offense is concerned. They have some weapons, however, and the offensive line, that's going to be the key for them today.
And most certainly will be keeping Matt Hasselbeck upright. Like I said, the slide protections, they're going to have to identify where Ndamukong Suh is, because this Dolphins defense will move him around. But like I said, that matchup we're going to have to watch is on the left side, Costanzo versus Vernon.
Second down and 5 from the 45 of the Dolphins, and here is Gore trying to go left. And Gore will be ridden out of bounds. Well, Houston has scored against Tennessee, and for that highlight, let's go to Los Angeles and Mike Hill with a game break.
And the Texans can wrap up the division with a win. Quentin Demp scoops and scores on the Antonio Andrews fumble. 7-0 Texans. Texans win, and Indy lost or tie, and Houston wins the division after a 1-4 start. Dick and David, back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. So the Texans can wrap it up today, and they get off to a good start. Meanwhile, the Colts with their 8th play of the drive coming up here. And it'll be 3rd and 4. Boom Herron is the running back. Good receiver out of the backfield. Hasselbeck's pass is incomplete, intended for Philip Dorsett. And Kelvin Shepard, the middle linebacker, covering. So 4th down coming up, and Pat McAfee will have to come in and kick.
That matchup that we talked about, Anthony Costanzo, the left tackle, is lucky here that he did not get a holding call, because you see Vernon hitting that edge, getting that rip through, trying to get that forced fumble out, but still is able to get that pressure, and Matt Hasselbeck feels it. Able to change and turn on downs. Here comes a punt, and we'll see what this Miami Dolphins offense can do to respond.
Vernon, a tough customer indeed, and here is McAfee, Pro Bowler last year, not this year. And the ball will bounce and be down by the Colts inside the 5. So good coverage by the Indianapolis Colts and these Miami Dolphins. It was Jaleel Brown who downed the ball, but a long way to go for Ryan Tannehill and company.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
And back here at Miami Gardens, where the stadium is located, Ryan Tannehill's numbers don't look all that bad considering the 5-9 record that the Dolphins have.
But today it is going to be important for them to establish the run with Lamar Miller, because
and they hand the ball off to the aforementioned Miller, who gets 1.
they have to establish the run. Their offensive line is banged up. Mike Pouncey is out at the center position. You know, Devontae Parker is now coming on after having an injury-plagued season. But this offensive line, the right tackle, Jason Fox, is in there for Jawan James, so he's starting his second game. But the rookie at that center position, the fourth rounder out of Arizona State, Jamil Douglas has to have a great game today, calling out protections.
That was Pouncey on the sideline, 2nd down and 9. And here is Miller trying to go on their left side. And a lot of the problems with the running game, and Miller is an outstanding running back, is the fact that they have fallen behind in the first half of games and has made running game non-existent. They are the Colts defense, and they have allowed 79 points in the second half in the last 3 weeks. They have been ineffective.
I absolutely love their inside linebackers, Jarrell Freeman and DeQuil Jackson. Both of these players play downhill. They play smash mouth, and they're not going to be one of those blitzers that try to pick a side. They're going to try running right through you.
Now 3rd down and 6. So the Colts could do themselves a lot of favors here by stopping the Dolphins, who are on their own 6-yard line. And here's Tannehill getting rushed, and he's down for the safety. And it's T.Y. McGill, the rookie from North Carolina State, who came in virtually untouched and gets Tannehill in the end zone. And the Colts have taken a 2-0 lead and will get the ball back. Tannehill never had a chance.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
We're back here in Miami, where the Colts have taken a 2-0 lead on a safety, and it was T.Y. McGill, rookie defensive tackle. Quan Bray is back, and a free kick coming up. Philip Dorsett is also back there with Bray, as Matt Darr, the punter, on the free kick, and it's going to Bray at the 12. And he is taken down right around the 20-yard line by rookie Neville Hewitt.
So they hit him with the game. Tackle and nose looping around. And like I said, the center starting this off, Jamil Douglas has got us forced to switch and start it over. So they're attacking right away. They're not able to pass it off. And here's another safety, something that has happened in the last 4 games to this Dolphins offense.
And there's Darren Rizzi, the special teams coach, who's claiming that the Dolphins had called timeout before the snap. All to no avail. So McGill's first NFL sack results in a safety, 2-0, and the Colts will start from the 25-yard line. Colts trying to break a 3-game losing streak here. Think a handoff, and the pass downfield is going to be intercepted by Brent Grimes. The pass was short to the receiver Hilton, and Brent Grimes is there for his 5th interception of the year, and a penalty flag is down as well. So far, 2 defensive penalties have been called against Miami.
Holding, defense number 21, 5-yard penalty, automatic.
And a 3rd defensive penalty early on here. That one against Brent Grimes, called for holding, and it will be a first down for the Colts.
Brent Grimes, their best corner, is one that is going to match up with true number 1s. You see him grab the face mask and pull. It's an easy call for the official right there at the sideline. But this is something that they're going to have to figure out. You know, they're going to move T.Y. Hilton around, and they're going to try to put him in the slot, because that's someplace that Grimes does not play a lot, is in that slot position.
So 3 defensive penalties and a breakdown on the offensive line, and the Colts keep possession of the ball. There is Andrew Luck on the left. So the Miami Dolphins with some self-inflicted wounds right here, giving the Dolphins a chance to keep it going. They're going to review that turnover. All turnovers and scoring plays, as we all know by now, are reviewed. And Brent Grimes was there to make the interception, had one in the 4th quarter last week against San Diego. This one apparently nullified by the penalty on Grimes.
It's exactly what they needed on this defensive side of the ball. They needed that takeaway to give their offense great field position to try to put some points on the board here, to build some confidence and momentum. But 3 penalties on this defensive side of the ball.
At this point, Indianapolis's headsets are not functioning on their sideline. We have asked Miami to remove their headsets as that courtesy toward Indianapolis. It's going to be 1st and 10.
So whenever one sideline has a headset malfunction, the other sideline has to remove theirs as well. And that was what that conference was all about. But you're so right about and no one has turned the ball over more than the Colts in the NFL this year.
And like I said, that would be the momentum builder for this Dolphins team, but more importantly, to give their offense a positive start to go with this football game.
So a first down at the 30 for the Colts. And the pitch off the left side is Philip Dorsett, who was a #1 draft pick out of Miami. Let's take a look at the Dolphins defense near the bottom in every major category. And Ndamukong Suh is their big man, clogging the middle. Jordan Phillips, the rookie, starting this game, and the rest of the team.
They're happy to have Jelani Jenkins back, who was inactive last week with an ankle injury. But like I said, Rashad Jones on the backside, he is everything that you want in a strong safety.
And you saw Zach Vigil, who is an undrafted rookie, who's starting his first game with Koa Misi on injured reserve now for Miami. Second down and 8. And this pass is thrown underneath, caught, and a first down. Good move by Kobe Fleener, the tight end, and he gets 9. Let's go down to the field to Christina Pink.
Thank you, Dick. Everybody's a little banged up this time of year, but not everybody's. A 40-year-old quarterback in his 17th NFL season, as Chuck Pagano put it this week. His quarterback is beat up from the feet up. Matt Hasselbeck has been on the injury report a ton, but he told us it's not that bad. Really, the only 2 injuries, just a rib injury separated 2 weeks ago, and then a jaw injury he suffered last week. And then, of course, he had a bout with food poisoning back in week 4. He's blaming that on Chipotle, Dick.
He's had everything. And they want to keep him upright today. 1st and 10. Hasselbeck under pressure, trying to get away. He's got Suh chasing him, and Suh will knock him out of bounds. So being chased by Ndamukong Suh, wanting to stay healthy, that's not the recipe for that either.
No, it is not. That is the last player when you're banged up that you want getting hit. But I'll tell you what, that play started with Ndamukong Suh. The ability of him to get the pressure right over the right guard, Hugh Thornton, forced him to step up, and he had to scramble. This is the exact thing that this front 4 of the Dolphins need to do, is create that penetration.
Loss of 1 on the play, and for Hasselbeck, the latest injury was a jaw injury, and he said he was on a liquid diet. The only thing he could eat all week was oatmeal and fish. Not as appetizing as you might want. Here's a drop by Kobe Fleener, who started to run before he caught the ball. And an incomplete pass will bring up now 3rd down.
Now let's see if this Dolphins defense is going to be aggressive and attack with the blitz, or if they're going to remain just rushing their front 4. Because out of the 27 sacks they have this season, 24 of them have been by this defensive line.
3rd down and 11 on the 41 of Indianapolis. And Hasselbeck completing the pass to Philip Dorsett. And Dorsett getting into Miami territory and has a first down and a good gain that time of 23 yards. Dorsett, who has a touchdown reception in 12 today, and they're going to use him a lot today, coming back to his hometown.
Another player from the U. You see they brought the blitz up front. The offensive line was able to protect. They had the 2 crossing routes. They were able to get it to Dorsett for a big gain and convert on the 3rd.
So Dorsett, the #1 pick for the Colts, and Ndamukong Suh comes out of the game. DeAndre Coleman, number 62, replaces him on the defensive line. And on first down, a running play to Frank Gore. Gore finds some running room with a great juke there. Stays on his feet, and Frank Gore will score. Frank Gore, who was injured the last time he came in as a visiting player back to his hometown. 37-yard touchdown, and the left guard, Jack Newhart, sprung him with a terrific block as well.
This is something this Dolphins defense has been gashed by, our big runs and broken tackles. This is their 12th run of over 20 yards that they've given up, and it's the 5th that's gone for a touchdown, which is the most in the NFL. Talked about in the opening, getting Frank Gore going. His 43 yards today are already more than what he had last week in the entire game in Houston.
And that's the longest rush of the year for the Colts, and the extra point by Adam Vinatieri is no good. A rarity. Vinatieri misses an extra point. That's the third one he's missed this year. But Gore's touchdown adds to the Colt lead.
Today's game is sponsored by Mobile Strike. Download and play now, free from the App Store.
Frank Gore in the background there with his 5th touchdown. Yes, you could take a bow, Frank. His 5th touchdown rushing of the season. And a 6-play, 75-yard drive. And the interception called back on the holding penalty proved key there, but Vinatieri misses the extra point, so the Colts need to be satisfied right now with an 8-0 lead.
They have to be satisfied with an 8-0 lead, but this is a team that has started fast in games. What they have not been able to do is finish and close out games in the 4th quarter.
Pat McAfee kicking off. Damian Williams on the return for the Dolphins. Bobbles it, and Miami will take it out on the 20-yard line. Another look at Frank Gore coming back to Miami. What a run. 37 yards for the Colts. Aerial coverage of today's game is brought to you by DirecTV. So the Dolphins didn't have the ball long. They started on the 4-yard line, and Ryan Tannehill tackled in the end zone for a safety. Then the Colts scored a touchdown, missed the extra point. And a first down from the 20-yard line. Play action for Tannehill. And Tannehill going deep downfield. And it is caught by Devontae Parker, the #1 draft pick from Louisville, who has been coming on in a huge gain of 49 yards into Colt territory.
They go max protection up front for Ryan Tannehill to give him that protection. And like we said, Devontae Parker has been coming on. You could see his confidence rising now that he's back from that injury. Played well last week in San Diego, and he's been showing why he was their 1st-round pick.
Been battling foot injuries all season. 13 catches in the last 4 games coming into this one. And a first down on the 31. And here's the pass out to Stills, Kenny Stills, and not much there for a game break. Let's go out to Los Angeles and join Kurt Menefee.
Well, we may have seen this somewhere before. Carolina taking the lead on a touchdown run of 8 yards by Cam Newton. 7-0. They lead it. Start the 2nd quarter in Atlanta. Dick, David, and Christina.
All right, Kurt. Carolina trying to stay undefeated. Meanwhile, Houston has opened up a 10-0 lead over the Tennessee Titans right now. Panthers can wrap up home field throughout the NFC playoffs with the win today. And here's the pass attempt, and down he goes. No receivers open, and Kendall Langford, former Dolphin, gets the 2nd sack of the game for the Colts and a loss of 9.
On the outside, they have Trent Cole and Eric Walden that are looping around that edge, and they just find that pressure that they need to get Tannehill to step up into the pocket and create another sack. Like we said, it worked when they had max protection. They've got to do something to help out with these offensive linemen, giving chips, giving protection, having a tight end lined up on the line of scrimmage. And that's one of the reasons why Jordan Cameron this season hasn't been as productive as in the past, because they've had to use it for protection.
3rd down and 20. Tannehill completes the pass for Lamar Miller. And Miller will be 12 yards shy of the first down. And another penalty marker. Busy quarter for Gene Steratore and company.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense. Number 50. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Critical one for Jarrell Freeman. It would have been 4th down, but an 8-yard catch and a 15-yard penalty right there on Freeman gives the Dolphins good field position and new life.
But more than anything, with the new life, they've got to capitalize on it.
What do they say? Touchdowns in the red zone, right? They're in the red zone now on the 18-yard line.
Go.
Miller. And Miller dives inside the 15 before Zach Kerr brings him down. Miller rushed for 100 yards just a few times this year. 1,000-yard rusher last year. Needed, well, a bunch. 219 coming into the game to get back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. 2nd and 6. Again, Miller. And Miller is tackled about 3 or so yards shy of the first down by the former Eagle Trent Cole.
One thing that I like that this Miami Dolphins offense is doing is they are sticking to the run. You saw the play before. It was a big, long, full zone stretch to the left. This time they have a guard pulling, running a little bit of power, because what is it doing? It's putting them in a 3rd and manageable down.
Miller's run well. He just hasn't had that many opportunities. As he comes out to the bottom part of your picture, wide to the right, is Miller on 3rd and 3. And Tannehill's pass, and caught for the first down by Jordan Cameron, the tight end. And it'll be 1st and goal inside the 5, as the Dolphins taking advantage of a defensive penalty on the Colts side here.
As we were just saying, the protection from Jordan Cameron hasn't been where it needed to be, and they were hoping for this season. But this is the best thing that they can do. 3rd and 3. They can run the short routes, intermediate, and what else can it do? Tannehill doesn't have the pressure on him that he has to force anything.
1st and goal at the 3, 8-yard play. And a new set of downs. Here is Miller, and Miller is going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage by Kendall Langford. Langford, first 4 years spent with the Dolphins, was a 3rd-round draft pick now in his 8th year, and has really had an all-round solid year.
He really has, and you figure all the different moving pieces and parts. They've had injuries at the nose tackle position, at the 3 technique, but the one that has been steady through all of it is Langford.
So now 2nd and goal, back to the 6 after the loss of 3. Jarvis Landry goes in motion. They fake the give to him. Design rollout, not that far back. Tannehill fires, and it is picked off but out of the end zone by Dwight Lowry. It'll go as an incomplete pass, but Robert Mathis, the sack leader for the Colts, made Tannehill move away. So now the plot thickens. It'll be 3rd and goal. Damian Williams checks in for Miami. Chuck Pagano and Dan Campbell leading their teams the final couple of games. Miami trying to get on the board on 3rd down and goal. And this pass is going to be intercepted by Vontae Davis. Vontae Davis with the interception. The pass was intended for Parker, but underthrown, and Davis with his 4th interception of the year. Former Dolphins 1st-round draft pick Vontae Davis with the interception in the end zone, his 4th of the year. And you look at Kendall Langford, 2 former Dolphins figuring in this Colt defense to keep them off the scoreboard. So now the Colts with a 1st down at the 20. Hasselbeck, and has it knocked down right in his face was Derek Shelby.
Go back to the interception. They're having a problem punching and passing. Here it is. This is on the center. Jamil Douglas gets wrapped up. He gets his eyes off of DeQuil Jackson. Of all people, he should not take his eyes off of. Right down the bow. Tannehill tries throwing one up there and come away with a key interception.
Couldn't even get full extension on the throw with the arm because of Jackson in his face. 2nd down and 10. And this pass intended for Dante Moncrief. And Moncrief making the grab will be about 3 yards shy of the 1st down. Nearly a half a minute remaining in the 1st quarter. 7-yard pickup there. Hasselbeck completing 6 of his first 10 passes. And they have been short passes and that's what the game plan dictates.
Well, that's when Hasselbeck is at his best, when he's able to get rid of it quick, snap it out of his hands because of his experience, and he's seen it all. There's nothing that he hasn't seen from the defense.
Second and short, and this pass and a flag asked for by Pagano. T.Y. Hilton defended by Bryce McCain, the former Steeler, and still shaking his head as Hilton thinking he was interfered with. Instead, it'll be fourth down. And Pat McAfee will come in to kick it away with 7 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
You know, they're looking for the call, and you see the hands on, and you see the little push and tug. You know, they've just got to be consistent. If they're going to have the brush of the face mask and they're going to throw one, definitely has to be one as well.
Jarvis Landry going back, and he makes the grab of the punt inside the 15-yard line, and on his return gets it up past the 25-yard line as time runs out. That is the end of the first quarter with the score, the Colts 8 and Miami nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Well, this January, the celebration begins as we kick off the farewell season of American Idol. The show that made superstars from Kelly to Carrie to Phillip is ready to discover an idol one last time. The farewell season premieres Wednesday, January 6th on Fox. Interesting. You've always been my idol for all season long, and I'll say it again. This game so far, how do you read it? I mean, the penalties have really affected both teams at this point. Dolphins couldn't take advantage.
They really have, but the pressure that the Colts defense has been able to get on Ryan Tannehill is what led to that last interception, is what has given their offense more opportunities to continue with the fast starts that they've had this season.
Jay Ajayi, who expects to get a lot of rushing attempts in this game, rookie from Boise State. So they're the first quarter miscues by the Miami Dolphins. By the way, 5 yards were tacked on after Landry's return because of an illegal man downfield. So it'll be 2nd and 8 in any event from the 33. Tannehill got time this time, and he completes the pass to Landry. Jarvis Landry still on his feet, gets a few extra yards, and gets close to midfield. DeQuell Jackson missed the tackle, and Landry will get 14 yards. Well, he was the real deal as soon as he got here.
He really has been, and his ability to get yards after catch have been phenomenal since he became a Miami Dolphin. He's able to extend plays, and he is a competitor that loves this game.
First down on the 47 of the Dolphins. Already the top receiver all time in the given season. Here's Miller. And Miller gets to the 49, or Ajayi, that is, getting to the 49-yard line of the Colts. Jay Ajayi, who was born in London. He had Nigerian parents, moved to Maryland in the 4th grade, and then came down to Texas, and that's where he got serious about football.
He is a big physical downhill runner, but one of the things that he has to work on is being more patient. Some of the times he's climbing on his linemen's backs, and he has to let those holes open up and develop.
And we have another penalty and a false start call coming up against Miami.
False start, offense. The offensive line moved about the center snapping. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, this line has been in flux all year.
And here are the pressures. This was a sack for the safety. You had the 2 ends rushing around the outside, getting the force up, and Langford with the sack. And here's one where he's flushed outside of the pocket. And here was the key interception. Unable to pick up the blitz by DeQuell Jackson. They've got to figure out a way, whether it's max protection, whether it's chip him more.
2nd down 11, and the handoff to Ajayi. Picks up 1 yard. So Ajayi tackled by Zach Kurd.
What I was saying was they've got to continue with max protection. They've got to chip, but also they've got to be able to identify and not have the missed assignments up front, like the one that they gave up the sack My mistake, the interception by not picking up the Will Jackson.
They've given up 38 sacks this year, tied for 8th most in the league. An injury-riddled offensive line. 3rd down and 9. And Tannehill pass and a beauty and a 1st down inside the 30. Damian Williams entering the game and a good receiver out of the backfield. So 3 different backs have figured already. Miller, Williams, and Ajayi for the Dolphins. 23 yards.
Missed time on 3rd down. What did they do? They only rushed 4. There were no stunts. The offensive line were able to pick that one up. Tannehill has the time. His eyes the whole time are on Williams and is able to deliver.
And a 1st down at the 29 of the Colts. Ryan's numbers so far, but the interception after the Dolphins had a 1st and goal. Vontae Davis covering Landry at the top. And this pass goes underneath and it's caught by Jordan Cameron. 2nd catch for the tight end who formerly played with the Browns. And a gain of 15.
You could see that this Dolphins offense has a little confidence, has a little juice, and you could see that the tempo in this drive has changed. They've been a lot more aggressive. They've made sure that they're getting to the line of scrimmage much quicker than they did to start this game.
Already 115 yards passing for Tannehill, who's completed 7 of 9. And a 1st down, and here is Ajayi cutting back, and he gets to the 10. Jarrell Freeman was there, but Ajayi gets 4.
You can hear it right now. Tannehill is doing a good job manipulating the snap count. You can hear him going with hard counts. He's going on 3. He's just trying to do whatever he can to let his offensive line settle down and not let this Indianapolis Colts front 4 get a jump.
Here is Ajayi, and Ajayi is going to get a 1st down and almost a touchdown. Just stopped short of the goal line by Jonathan Newsom, and it'll be 1st and goal. Pretty run by Jay Ajayi there.
More than just pretty, that is aggressive and downhill. This is what you love to see out of a running back. But what does he do? He makes sure that he protects the football. Very smart and great run by the rookie.
And 1st and goal. Ajayi with a touchdown last week against the Chargers. And here is Ajayi, and he's not going to get there. Will actually lose 1 yard, bringing up 2nd down and goal. Good penetration there by the nose tackle, David Parry. Parry, rookie from Stanford.
You could see him breathing, huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
This has been a long drive, which is perfect, and this is what the Dolphins offense wants.
This will be the 10th play of the drive, over 5.5 minutes. And here is Ajayi diving to the goal line, and no signal given yet. Zach Kerr met him at the goal line. They'll get a yard out of it.
Ruling on the field was the runner down by contact, short of the goal line. 3rd down, Miami.
So now 3rd down, and looks like less than a yard. There was a Dolphin who was shaken up for the moment, and it was Ajayi, the running back.
Jumps way too early. He tries taking off from the 3-yard line. You're not going to get that one. You got to make sure if you're going over the top, you press to the heels of your offensive lineman and then go to elevate over.
So Ajayi comes out, replaced by Lamar Miller. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Inside the 1. And they give it to Miller, and Miller gets in for the touchdown. And the Dolphins score their first points with 8:07 to go in the 2nd quarter. And the Dolphins are going to go for 2 to try to tie this game at 8-8 for Miller, his 8th touchdown rushing this year.
Great drive by the Dolphins. 11 plays, 69 yards. But who had the key block on that last play? Dallas Thomas, the left guard, was able to cut off the backside to give Lamar Miller that crease in order to score.
The Dolphins are 2 for 2 on 2-point conversions this year. And if they're successful here, we'll have a tie game. Tannehill fires, and it is no good. It is picked off by Greg Toller, and he was down in the end zone, but it is an unsuccessful 2-point conversion attempt, and it's 8-6. Lamar Miller, after Ajayi did all the work to get it that close, bringing the Dolphins to within 2.
Today's game is sponsored by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. By Pepsi. Go behind the scenes of the Pepsi Super Bowl 50 halftime show only on Pepsi.com. And by Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's still finger-licking good.
The Indianapolis Colts lead the Miami Dolphins 8-6. Lamar Miller with a 1-yard run, and that is the longest drive of the season. Time-wise, 6:53 for the Dolphins this year. They have been able to hang in games in the first half, David. Those are the games they've been able to win when they've been way behind. Nothing helped them in the second half. But it was Jay Ajayi did all the work, but it was Lamar Miller right here who got the touchdown. The first score of the game for Miami. We're back, and Matt Hasselbeck, 6 passes completed to 6 different receivers. No one has caught 2. Frank Gore with a 37-yard touchdown run for the Colts. And Philip Dorsett also the leader with 1 catch. He has the most yards, so it'll be a first down on the 20. And Dominican Sue, who was not in the last series for the Dolphins, back on the field. Gore breaks a couple of tackles, gets a first down. Frank Gore, vintage Frank Gore there with a run of 18 yards.
What are they doing? He's being patient. They're pulling guards. They're lead blocking and getting movement at the point of attack. And what does Frank Gore do best? Puts his foot in the ground and gets downhill and has another big explosive run.
61 yards so far for Gore. This time Hasselbeck wants to go to the air, and the pass is caught at the 45 by Dante Moncrief, who had a touchdown reception last week against Houston. Tony Lippett makes the tackle. We're going to see a lot of Lippett today, a rookie from Michigan State, and Bobby McCain, another rookie, who are corners that the Dolphins want to take a close look at.
And that was great protection by Anthony Costanzo at the left tackle position. Vernon tried to retrace. He was able to seal him, and Matt Hasselbeck was able to step up and deliver.
2nd and 2, Boom Herron now is the back, and Boom is going to get the first down as he carries to midfield. Send it down to Christina Pink.
Thanks, Dick. Well, a nice run from Frank Gore earlier on this drive. He's certainly enjoying the happy homecoming. 35 ticket requests for him in front of the hometown crowd for the first time. 3 receivers on Indy's roster also from the South Florida area. Philip Dorsett, T.Y. Hilton also asking for tickets, but Andre Johnson, 190 ticket requests. So they'll all be in Colts jerseys except for that one uncle. He's a little stubborn. He'll be in a Dolphins jersey today.
Well, he should get more. He's the big veteran, 13 years. On first down, Hasselbeck looking, seeking, finding, and it's T.Y. Hilton in the open field, and Hilton winding his way to the 22-yard line of the Dolphins. Wide open there, and a 28-yard strike.
Not only is Frank Gore doing it on the ground, but I said how excellent his pass protection is. Muhort, the left guard, is trying to pull, but the penetration knocks him off. Frank Gore is able to step up, deliver that hit, let Muhort get his block, and give Hasselbeck the time for T.Y. Hilton to run right across the middle of the field and come up with another big game.
You know, you talk about running backs, fans look at how they carry the ball, but the protection is maybe number 1 as far as coaches are concerned.
If you can't protect, you're not going to be on the field.
First down from the 22. Hasselbeck throws it away. And Dwayne Allen covered well downfield and had to throw it away.
Big hit by Jordan Phillips on Matt Hasselbeck, and you could see him shrugging that one off. He took one right down the middle, and you could see him slow to get up again.
Well, that's the idea, and no one wants to hurt a quarterback, but you know if he's vulnerable, you want to get to him.
Hits on the quarterback are cumulative. And you're not saying you want to hurt them, but yes, you want to try knocking out a quarterback to get to their backup and Charlie Whitehurst.
And there was that hit by Jordan Phillips. Second down and 10. Hasselbeck has to fling it outside, and the pass is incomplete. The intended receiver was the tight end Jack Doyle, so that will bring up third down.
They tried sneaking one out to Jack Doyle, who's known because he's a blocker. He only has 9 catches on the season. And that's one that if you get your opportunity as a tight end who's strictly a blocker, you better catch that football, because if not, odds are they're not going to go back to you.
I don't know whether Hasselbeck looked at his wrist for the plays to see whether Mr. Doyle figures in another opportunity here. And it looks like Hasselbeck may be shaken up. The trainers are out talking to him, shaking his head. We'll delve further when we come back.
Today's game is sponsored by Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for $1.29 only at BK.
Please.
And Matt Hasselbeck has to come out for the 4th straight game due to injury, and you saw him shaking his head and how disgusted he is. Now here is that play. Several of them might have gotten to him, David.
No, it's just one. Boom, right there. Jordan Phillips, right on that right shoulder. You see him holding and laying down.
So Charlie Whitehurst is coming in for the 4th straight game in relief of Hasselbeck, who did return last week. 10-year veteran, originally a 3rd-round pick out of San Diego. Those are his numbers. It'll be 3rd down and 10 on the 22-yard line of Miami. And Whitehurst from his back foot completes the pass, and it'll be a 1st down to Andre Johnson. So Johnson, who's the 4th leading receiver on this team, maybe the Texans' all-time leader in that department, picks up a 1st down for the Colts.
Once again, production on the double crossers. They hit Philip Dorsett earlier with that same exact play. They go back to it. This time they're able to get it to Andre Johnson.
Got 11 yards. This will be the 8th play of the drive, as we wind down to 5 minutes remain in the first half. First and 10 on the 11. And here is Gore. Gore at the 5. He scores! Frank Gore going through the Dolphin defense and has it going today big time. His 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Colts have opened up a 14-6 lead.
Great job by the offensive line. You're going to see Hugh Thornton, the right guard, pull. He's the lead blocker. You see right away Frank Gore stops for a second, lets it split open, gets his kick out by Hugh Thornton, and runs right through those arm tackles. If you are going up against Frank Gore, you have got to get shoulders into him, and you've got to drive through him. Otherwise, you're going to have 2 big touchdowns like he's had today.
This from 11 yards, the other from 37, David. And now Adam Vinatieri, who missed his first extra point conversion. And this one is good. And the Colts lead it now 15-6. As Gore, with his 2nd touchdown, caps an 80-yard drive for the Colts. A look at the scoring drive for the Colts, and the most rushing yards by a Colt running back since Joseph Adai in 2007. What Frank Gore has done today, scoring 2 touchdowns, now with 6 on the season. And a 15-6 lead with 4:42 to go in the half.
Great job by this Colts offense bouncing back, because last week against Houston, 19 carries for only 50 yards. They're almost doubled that today.
And they got to be kicking themselves, the Colts, because if they had won last week, they would have the title right in their hands if they would win. Let's send it down to Christina Pink.
Take an update on Colts quarterback Matt Hasselbeck. He is back in the locker room being evaluated for a shoulder injury. Came off the field, went directly into the locker room, didn't spend any time on the bench. He was clearly frustrated that his status right now is unknown, but he is being evaluated again for a shoulder injury.
All right, Christina, thank you very much. 40-year-old Matt Hasselbeck having to shoulder the load, no pun intended, for Andrew Luck, and then Whitehurst coming in, leading or finishing the drive. Tannehill, his first pass is caught at the 45 by Devontae Parker.
So here's the first initial hit that started it. You see Jordan Phillips is the one that applies the pressure, lands right on that right shoulder. He comes back. The next play, you could tell he can't even throw the football. No motion. It was like a sidearm toss, and right away calls to the bench. That's it.
4 games in a row that Matt Hasselbeck, who started the first 4 in relief of Andrew Luck. Luck came back for a game or 2. Was 4-0 at one point. Here's Lamar Miller. And Lamar Miller with a gain of 2.
There was no push by the offensive line there. Just flat down the line of scrimmage, nobody bringing their backside leg through. It was a stalemate all across the board, and Miller had nowhere to run.
Tannehill has gotten off to a pretty decent start, although the interception in the end zone with 1st and goal really cost the Dolphins an opportunity to get their first touchdown, manage another one later. Down by 9 on 2nd and 9, and the slant and the grab close to the first down again is Devontae Parker. He may have it.
Now the offensive line got it. They bring DeQuil Jackson again on the same stunt where he had pressure that led to the interception. They picked it up, and what do you know? He delivers a strike to Devontae Parker.
Well, he's the future. They've got Landry and Parker. If you're looking ahead for the Dolphins' future, those are the 2 that are going to lead the way. There they are. And a first down on the 45 of the Dolphins. Miller. Stopped short of midfield. That'll be 2nd down coming up for Miami. Miami Dolphins starting the year 1-3. Joe Philbin was fired as the head coach. And then, of course, the offensive coordinator, Bill Lazor, was replaced. Kevin Coyle, the defensive coordinator. So you want to talk about a rugged, turbulent year that the Dolphins have had to experience. Campbell won his first 2 games as head coach, but then the team has dropped 6 of their last 8. 2nd and 6. Play action for Tannehill. And the pass is caught by Miller, but hit immediately by Jerrell Freeman and held to 1 yard. And we're down to the 2-minute warning here in Miami with the Colts in front of the Dolphins 15-6. Get apps, videos, and more at iTunes.com/NFL. Loss or a tie today by the Colts, and a Houston win, or the combination of wins by those 4 teams, will give Houston the division title. They're leading 17-0 with less than 2 minutes to go in the first half at Tennessee. 3rd down and 5, and Tannehill is taken down at the 41-yard line by Robert Mathis. That's his 6th sack of the year, leading the team.
Robert Mathis hits Jason Fox, who's in for Juwan James. He hits him with the spin move, swats that left hand down, can't redirect. Inside pressure, Tannehill doesn't even see it coming. Another big sack.
3rd of the game and a loss of 8 yards.
Ryan Tannehill has been sacked 180 times since 2012.
56 in one season, and this year it's been 38. That's staggering, David. Miami is going to take a timeout. They have 2 remaining. 4th down, and we'll break right here. The UFC starts the new year off with a bang on FS1 with the return of power-punching phenom Michael McDonald in his first fight in over 2 years. UFC 195 starts with the prelims Saturday at 7:30 Eastern on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Not only does Michael McDonald have a beautiful voice, he can pack a punch and throw right hooks.
Isn't that a great combination to have? Matt Darr will punt. Juan Bray standing at the 10. And it goes out of bounds around the 15. Well, halftime is coming up, the Visa halftime as well. So let's check in with Kurt Menefee and the guys and see what's up.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the AFC wildcard has been a game of musical chairs as the Chiefs, Steelers, and Jets look to secure a seat at the playoff table. Plus, the Houston Texans hold the key to the AFC South. A win today eliminates the Jags. But are the Colts still in the hunt? We've got all that. And what are you guys doing?
Don't tell Kurt.
Those guys definitely have fun, that's for sure.
Every week for a lot of years. First down, Boom Herron with the carry. And he takes it out to the 20-yard line. 5-yard gain. Colts leading the Dolphins 15-6, trying to stay alive here, along with David, Christina, Mike Pereira. If we need him in the studios in Los Angeles, we haven't had an issue with the calls yet. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Houston winning 17-0. Houston has the big edge in this race, and of course last week taking the 1-game lead over these Colts. 2nd down and 5. Herron straight ahead. Not much. And it looks like with Charlie Whitehurst coming in, the Colts
we're in the same place, back to back. They're letting Jack Muhort, the left guard, get some practice getting his pulls in before the second half.
Well, Muhort did a great job in springing Frank Gore for his first touchdown of 37 yards. And now Miami calls a timeout with 8 seconds remaining.
Please reset the game clock to 12 seconds. 12 seconds on the game clock.
So they
please.
reset the game clock. They were down to 8. Now they'll make it 12. Colts got the scoring started with a safety. And then Gore ran 37 yards for a touchdown. It was 8-0. Lamar Miller capped a drive with a run. 2-point conversion failed. And then Gore with his second touchdown. 3rd down and 3. And Herron will get the first down. Moot point here. And that will do it. Clock will run down, and it is halftime here in Miami with the score. The Colts 15 and the Dolphins 6. We now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime report, which starts now. Today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan. And that was today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. First half summary, Matt Hasselbeck came out of the game late with a shoulder injury. Charlie Whitehurst came in. Frank Gore scored the second of his 2 touchdowns. And Ryan Tannehill, under pressure, a safety, and then threw a touchdown, or what was an interception, into the end zone. So let's go back in history, know what's happened the last 3 games for the Colts. But outscored 79-3 in the second half of games. What do the Dolphins need to do to keep the parade going?
For the Colts, they need to stay on the gas pedal with Frank Gore, and they need to get Boom Herron involved to take the pressure off of Charlie Whitehurst, who has come in for Matt Hasselbeck transversely. For the Dolphins, offensively, they have got to have long, sustaining drives like the 11-play drive that led to a touchdown by Lamar Miller, because that's the way that they can break down this Colts defense.
And the Dolphins get the ball to start the second half, and they'll start from the 20-yard line as we send it down to Christina Pink.
Dick, I just spoke with Chuck Pagano, and Matt Hasselbeck has been ruled out with a shoulder injury, will not return. I asked him, what kind of adjustments do they need to make with Charlie Whitehurst at quarterback? He said, not much. He's had a ton of reps. He knows this offense. We just have to keep the pedal to the metal with Frank Gore at running back. He likes what they're getting on the ground. He said with the blocking from the tight ends and the offensive line, he said, plus the breaking of the tackles, they need to just keep things going offensively. Dan Campbell was frustrated with their protection issues. Ryan Tannehill's been under duress all game. He wanted to clean that up, and also some of their defensive issues on those missed tackles from Frank Gore.
All right, as well he should be on the protection part. Here's Lamar Miller on the outside. Will lose a couple of yards. So far, the Miami Dolphins had to take a safety and then an interception They got a touchdown on that drive that David was talking about, that 11-play drive, and then punted the last time around.
And I'm still waiting for another big shot or explosive play out of this Dolphins wide receiving core. You had the big one out of, my mistake, out of Parker. Yeah, he had the 49-yarder. And then Kenny Stills.
They need more of that.
They need something out of him today.
Miller. And Miller will have the first down. Pushed out of bounds by DeQuell Jackson. And a pickup of 14 yards. By the way, if you're wondering who would back up Charlie Whitehurst, the Colts signed Stephen Morris, former University of Miami quarterback, off of the Eagles practice squad. And he would be the other quarterback to be used if anything does happen to Whitehurst.
They are praying right now that that does not happen.
First down at the 33. Tannehill, and it's batted down at the line. Colts outrush the Dolphins 89-34. Of course, a lot of that responsible in the Gore with 72 of those 89 passing rushing yards. And the Dolphins gain more through the air. It'll be second down and 10.
This offense needs to have more of a sense of urgency because that's when they've had success dictating the tempo.
They're going to run it here, and they're going to lose it here. And that was Zach Kerr stopping Lamar Miller in his tracks, and a loss on the play. That will bring up third down and long for Miami here on their first series of the second half.
Well, both runs that they've tried to have here to start this second half have been stopped. Why? Because of penetration in a zone running scheme. As long as you stay square and get somewhat movement, your back can pick a side and choose and still gain some yards. If you're getting driven back into the backfield, a back's trying to bounce, he's trying to get it backside, there is nowhere for him to run.
Now they got the receiver back in there, Damian Williams, number 34, on the rollout by Tannehill. And Tannehill gets away and finally throws an awkward pass to Landry, incomplete. And fourth down. That wasn't textbook, to say the least.
You heard Dan Campbell say they need to protect Ryan Tannehill better. Now what are they doing? They're moving him out of the pocket, trying to change the launch point, and he came up slow here. You see him stumbling. Something's wrong, and he's still on that far sideline.
And Matt Moore, the backup quarterback, has started to warm up. So Ryan Tannehill limping off the field, and Matt Moore, who's been a long-time backup for the Dolphins, starts to heat up on the sideline.
Here you see him rolling out, and it's just like it's his toe. It's something on that left foot that has him hobbling.
Eric Walton got a leg on his knee that disrupted it. So Tannehill coming out of the game. Walton, also another former Dolphin, and there is Matt Moore. And fourth down, Dar will be kicking to Quan Bray. Good punt. Bray at the 12. Quan Bray flagged down. And Bray is tackled at the 37-yard line.
Bray was huge last week, giving this offense and this team some great field position. Their average start last week in the first half was 48 yards, and he had the 48-yard line, and he had 147 all-purpose yards.
Holding return team number 35, 10-yard penalty. First down, Indianapolis. Timeout.
That's Akeem Davis, and that'll set the Colts back. But the Dolphins have a big concern here. Their quarterback shaken up on the sidelines. His backup may come in.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. By Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. And by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today.
Back here in Miami, and there you see the left leg of Ryan Tannehill. Charlie Whitehurst, who came in for the injured Matt Hasselbeck, completes the pass short of the first down to Philip Dorsett.
Nice job by Philip Dorsett coming back to the football in the scramble drill.
There you see the Colt possessions today. And here's the injuries play that sent Tannehill to the sideline.
I initially thought it was maybe his left ankle because of how it gets twisted, but then you see the kick from Walden inside that left knee there.
Tannehill appears that he's hurting at this point. Second down and 3. And moving to the line, Sue came across. Let's see if he was drawn off.
Neutral zone infraction, defense, number 97. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So it's Jordan Phillips with the neutral zone infraction. He's making his 3rd start of the season, 2nd-round draft pick out of Oklahoma. And they have high hopes for him.
They most certainly do. He's a big run stuffer. He's great at the point of attack, and he's the one that led to knocking Matt Hasselbeck out of his football game.
Colts have a first down on the 33, and here is Frank Gore. Gore will get a couple, that's all. Send it down to Christina.
Hey, Dick, I've been watching Ryan Tannehill on the sideline. He had been walking off whatever that left leg injury was, trying to stretch it out. He's sitting down on the bench, but other than a brief conversation, not much talk between Tannehill and the team trainer. I do have an injury update on one of their starting linebackers, Jelani Jenkins. He is questionable with an ankle injury.
And Jordan Phillips is injured. We were just talking about this rookie from Oklahoma. And while they tend to Phillips, we'll take a break. Still a 9-point lead for Indy. Charlie Whitehurst, and there is Andrew Luck. Of course, Luck has not been himself. Those injuries, certainly the toughest year for him. He was 1-5 as a starter before he was out of action for good. And I don't know whether he'll get back for the one last game next week. Houston is leading now 24-0. Frank Gore pushes the pile for a couple of yards. And Neville Hewitt, the rookie linebacker, who came in for Jelani Jenkins, makes the tackle. Mike Hill with a game break.
Tennessee not helping the Colts out against Houston. Brandon Wheaton, the 4th different starter for the Texans, finds DeAndre Hopkins in the end zone. 24-0 in the 3rd. David, back to you.
And that doesn't bode well for the Colts, who are leading today, but a Houston win will put them in a great position here. They also have the edge when it comes to the tiebreaker, with the schedules working in their favor. Here is Whitehurst, incomplete, intended for T.Y. Hilton. Good coverage that time by Bryce McCain. Strength of victory tiebreaker, and another Dolphin lips off. That's McCain. McAfee will kick. Jarvis Landry is back. Nearly blocked, and a flag goes down. And Landry bobbles it. And a loose ball inside the 10-yard line, but the penalty marker upfield at the 30. Bobby McCain makes the fumble recovery. But McAfee going back there, and see whether a holding call goes against the Colts. They're coming back. And McAfee remains out there. And if it's a holding call against McAfee and the Colts, he'll be kicking again.
Holding. Offense number 45. 10-yard penalty. We're going to replay 4th down.
That was the long snapper, Matt Overton, number 45.
So Landry will get another opportunity, but You talk about how tough it is as a punt returner trying to track the football in his son. This is a sure-handed guy. He gets it into the face mask. He doesn't even get his hands on it. What led to that fumble right there.
So another chance for Jarvis Landry, and this time McAfee will be kicking from inside his 15. Very early here in the third quarter. Dick Stockton, David Deal, and Christina Pink with you here in Miami. Dolphins, who last 2 years were 8-8 on the season and missed great chances to go to postseason by stumbling in the last couple of games. Now the best they can finish will be 7-9, and they've got New England next week. But Landry's a keeper. There's no mistaking that one, David.
Not at all.
Reason for the delay is that they're confirming the spot. Yeah, the Colts have had great kicking this year from the punter McAfee and Adam Vinatieri, even though Vinatieri has missed 3 extra point attempts. Rare for him. Fair catch by Landry at the 21. So after all of that, the Dolphins down by 9. We'll get it back. Less than 5 minutes elapsed in the third.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history.
Aerial coverage of today's game is brought to you by DirecTV. And when we asked Jarvis Landry to describe Ryan Tannehill, he said leadership, toughness, arm strength. He's out there after that injury the last time the Dolphins had the ball, the handoff to Lamar Miller, and Miller picking up 5 yards on first down.
It's an important drive for them to get Tannehill back into the game after coming out and having Matt Moore come in. But they've got to build some confidence here offensively, and it's got to start with this drive. They cannot sit back and have that laid-back attitude. They've had success when it dictated the tempo, and they're not doing it.
In other words, be the aggressor. And the pass overthrown Devontae Parker. And nearly picked off by the safety Dwight Lowry. So that pass was way off the mark. And it will present a 3rd down and 5. As Greg Jennings and Kenny Stills come in as the wide receivers. Devontae Parker remains in there. Stills and Jennings have not kind of produced exactly the way the Dolphins have hoped this year. There's the 3rd down conversion story. They need 5. Quick one, slant, first down, and more. Devontae Parker looking very good, and you talked about he has really risen to the occasion in the last several games. A 20-yard pickup and a first down for the Dolphins to the 46.
Nice job breaking it off inside. A little double move, stutter step to start it and get the first down. But it all starts with the protection. This time they were able to pick up the cross stunt with the linebacker adding on. And that's allowing Tannehill to relax, plant his back foot, and deliver.
Nearly 100 yards for Parker, and the handoff to Miller. And Miller is stopped a couple of yards short of the first down by the strong safety, Mike Adams. Big East begins conference play this week, and it's all on FS1, including a huge matchup on New Year's Eve between number 6 Xavier and 17th ranked Villanova. It's all on your home for Big East Hoops, FS1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Second down and 3 on the Colt 47. Miller working his way, trying to get to the first down. Will be shy by 1 yard.
But they're having success moving the football. The first one was for 5. The next one was for 7. This one for 2. It's allowing them to be in 3rd and manageable downs, which allows you to have the run-pass option on 3rd down. It has more flexibility for you offensively.
And how about the balance? Even number rushing and passing. They haven't even been close to that this year. So now 3rd and 1. And the fake pitch and the pass to the open tight end Deion Sims and a first down. Well executed play called by Zach Taylor, who's the quarterback coach and was promoted to the play caller, and an 8-yard gain and a first down for the Dolphins.
Moving the launch point, letting Tannehill use his legs. He does a great job. He feels Walden coming off that edge, but able to sit back, drop, and throw it off of his back foot. You know, those are ones that you're lucky because you think that defensive end is going to leave his feet and try to jump up and knock that one down.
There's Zach Taylor, and you know what the running game could do if you pound it, show it enough. It opens up things even for the underneath things. And here's play action, and here's Tannehill, and wide open is Lamar Miller. Miller still not down, and finally goes down at the 31-yard line.
And this whole drive is stemming from being able to run the football. Now they have their play action shots working. They have linebackers, instead of sitting back in zone coverages and dropping back, they have them jumping up trying to stop the run where they're able to open up things.
Second down and 4 at the 31 of the Colts. Nearly 4 minutes on this drive.
30!
Miller, and he'll be stopped short 2 yards, a first down by Kendall Langford, but they're pounding the ball, and the ball control has been in their favor by about 7 minutes at this point for the Dolphins. Third down and 2 for Miami. Nearly 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Remember, this was the half that the Colts had really disappeared in the last 3 games. There you see the possession story favoring Miami. And the handoff is to Miller. First down inside the 25.
Offensive line has definitely stepped up running the football because they are getting movement at the point of attack. You see the Indianapolis Colts defensive line getting pushed because now this is the way, like I said, they can dictate the tempo of this football game. They can let this offensive line settle down where they're not in third and long situations. And this was what led to their success in the first half.
Jay Ajayi, he's been out for a while, has come back into the game, and he gets the call here. Ajayi spins off a defender and is finally tackled at the 17 by Zach Kerr, getting 7 yards. Remember, on the touchdown run, you pointed it out, Jay Ajayi did a lot of the work, running the ball, getting it to the 1, shaken up, came out of the game, and Lamar Miller scored.
They pulled the left guard, Dallas Thomas, to lead things through, and it's not pretty, but what are they doing? They're getting movement and giving seams.
11th play of the drive. That is pretty for the Dolphins. Play action. Tannehill is passed and into the end zone for the touchdown. It was Jordan Cameron, and he managed to grab that low ball. Flag is down, however. I wasn't sure whether Cameron had trapped it.
Number 14, 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
Offensive pass interference called against Jarvis Landry. Now, did he trap it or catch it? He caught it.
He caught it. It was very close, but he caught it.
But that nullifies the touchdown. By the way, this is the first offensive pass interference called by Gene Steratore crew this year. They had not called one. Where is it?
That's a terrible call. Terrible call. There wasn't a pick. There wasn't a rub. It wasn't indirect. He was running the post. That's an awful call.
Well, they hadn't called an offensive pass interference penalty all year, and that one didn't look like that was real either. Second down and 13. And off the hands of Devontae Parker. He was there for the reception, incomplete, and brings up third down and 13.
We'll go back to the replay. Well, you see Jarvis Landry at the top of the screen.
I don't see this.
You see him running the post because he's trying to open up things for Jordan Cameron, but there was no blocking, no contact. It was a clear, defined route combination that worked successfully and was perfect. It's a very, very bad call.
No push-off. Nothing, no semblance of a push-off there. So now the Dolphins 6 for 11 on third downs. Damian Williams is in as a receiver out of the backfield. And this pass will be caught a yard short by Jordan Cameron. And we'll bring up fourth down and 1, a 12-yard gain there. And they're going to bring on the field goal team. So Andrew Franks comes in. And the crowd wanting to see the Dolphins go for it at 5 and 9. But Dan Campbell wants the points.
You hear the boo birds come out, but you got to take the points.
So here's Tannehill leading a drive of nearly 6 minutes after being shaken up on the previous drive. This will be a 33-yard field goal attempt by Andrew Franks. And the rookie from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute connects and brings the Dolphins closer, 15-9. Colts still lead. Hey, we'd like to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world watching today's broadcast in 175 countries on AFN, the American Forces Network. Thank you for all you do, and thank you, First Lieutenant Bradley Pink, stationed at Fort Campbell, Tennessee. Who's the most proud? Well, our Christina Pink, who was on the sideline, and she grew up in nearby Pembroke Pines, and how proud she is to see her brother and her father Donald on the field today enjoying this game. Thank you, Bradley, and all of you in the Armed Forces Network for what you do.
This is the land of the free because of the brave. And my father being Air Force, got a great deal of respect and nothing but gratitude for all those who have served and who still serve for us.
Everything we have is because of them. Quan Bray is back deep. 6-point lead for the Colts, and on the bounce, Bray brings it out. And he stood up just shy of the 25-yard line. Going to take a break. 3:43 remaining in the third. Tight game here in Miami. Here comes Whitehurst. The Colts will have a first down on their 25-yard line, leading by 6. Houston Texans rolling over the Tennessee Titans to the tune of 31-0 right now in the third. Penalty down.
Encroachment. Defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Will make it 1st and 5.
If you're a Colts fan right now, if you have a fever, the only cure is more Frank Gore. They need to get him going here in the second half like they did in the first half, starting with the offensive line opening holes. But it will take pressure off of Charlie Whitehurst because their last series, they went 3 and out, and it wasn't what this Indianapolis Colts offense is about.
Gore with a big game, 2 touchdowns and 76 yards. First down and 5. And here is Whitehurst, and this pass knocked away by Bryce McCain, intended for Andre Johnson. So from Coral Gables to the University of Miami, a member of a national championship team and the leading active rusher in the NFL with close to 12,000 yards, Frank Gore coming home. He was here once before but was injured, so he really didn't come back as an active player. So this was a big game for him. And as Christina mentioned, 60 or more tickets for his friends and family.
Cha-ching!
Second down and 5. Going to Gore again. And Gore stopped about 1.5 yards shy of the first down. Mike Hill in Los Angeles for a game break.
Falcons trying to keep their playoff hopes alive against those unbeaten Panthers. Check out Matt Ryan stepping up. Guys double covered downfield, but that guy is a great receiver, Julio Jones. 8 catches, 148 yards so far, and that touchdown, 14-10 Falcons. They're headed to the 4th right now.
All right, Mike, and you remember, of course, last week the Giants came back from 35-7 deficit, tied it up only for a game-winning field goal to win it for Carolina to keep them unbeaten. 3rd down and 2. Boom Herron, number 36. And the pass caught. Let's see if the forward progress to Kobe Fleener is enough, and it should be. Well, the Panthers are looking for their second perfect season in the NFL, following in the footsteps of the 1972 Dolphins. Don Shula, Bob Greasy, Larry Zonka, and the no-name defense led Miami to a perfect 17-0 season, capped by beating Washington in Super Bowl 7. And there was another team, the Patriots, almost finished undefeated.
I'm still waiting for a steak dinner for somebody on this 72 team after taking out the Patriots in 07 in the Super Bowl.
In fact, Don Hasselbeck had caps made, perfect 19-0 that never got worn by the Pats. 1st down and 10. Here's Gore. And Gore to the 42-yard line. Picking up 6 yards on the play. 15-9 game, and Charlie Whitehurst in relief of Matt Hasselbeck, who hurt his shoulder in the latter stages of the first half. And by the way, Whitehurst converted a 3rd and 10 after coming in for Hasselbeck, set up the second touchdown, and there's Matt out there with the, what do you call it, a cast of some sort?
The sling.
Sling. So how about having Andrew Luck and Matt Hasselbeck both on the sidelines in t-shirts? Hands off to Gore, and he'll lose yards thanks to Rashad Jones, the safety.
Yes.
Loss of 3 yards.
Here it comes right off of the edge. Unblocked. Easy tackle, but he's been doing that all season.
Yes, he has. That's why Rashad Jones and a lot of people feel he should be in the Pro Bowl.
And I'm one of those people.
And rightly so.
At some point, it doesn't have to be about your record. It can be about your performance, and he's done it all season.
So 3rd and 7, Boom Herron, former Buffalo Bill, is into the game, and Whitehurst going to Fleener, and the ball knocked away. Good defense. Rashad Jones once again making contact with the tight end, slowing him down, and that will bring up 4th down and a punting situation for the Colts.
It's a big hit on Kobe Fleener, and it's clean right through the middle of the sternum. Hits him perfectly. Fleener unable to hold on to the ball after the big hit. Back-to-back stops.
The play clock operator, please reset the play clock to 29 seconds.
Play clock right now at 25. They're going to make it 29 seconds. And Whitehurst 3 for 6 for 21 yards, by the way, since coming in for Hasselbeck, who went out. Jarvis Landry is back deep. Colts lead by 6. Texans 31-0 over the Titans. They are in command in the division right now. No flag is down, and a fair catch called for by Landry at the 24.
I want to wish my 9-year-old little girl, my beautiful daughter Addison Deal, it's her birthday today. And just like a coach's wife or a player's kids, you know, doing this and being on the road is tough today, but if there's anybody who loves football, it's definitely this little girl. And happy birthday, Addison. I love you. I miss you. Can't wait to see you when I get home.
I've been around a lot of analysts who have daughters and sons. I've never met a doting father better than David Deal.
I'm blessed to have one of the best kids in the world.
On 2nd down and 4, Jay Ajayi giving ground and knocked out of bounds with 23 seconds remaining in the quarter. Jarrell Freeman was there, and Ajayi will go back. Ajayi, a 5th-round pick from Boise State, and he was hurt for most of preseason, didn't get a chance to play. And that'll do it. That's the end of the 3rd quarter, with the Colts leading 15-9. And Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. The AFC South race will be over if the Colts lose. Houston is winning 31-0. If the Colts win, then we have the strength of victory tiebreaker, which could affect the Colts before the end of this day. Start of the fourth quarter. Dick Stockton along with David Deal and Christina Pink. It'll be second down and 15 on the 18 for the Dolphins. Ryan Tannehill completes the pass. Devontae Parker. And let's go down to Christina.
Well, Dick, not much life coming from the Dolphins sideline here in the second half. Several of the players coming into this game talked to us about fighting and competing despite having nothing to play for. Not seeing that so far in the second half. Dan Campbell trying to provide a spark before this drive, tapping all the offensive linemen, giving them some encouraging words. Still a manageable deficit here. Let's see if they respond.
Well, you can lead a horse to water, and Dan Campbell came in with a lot of spirit and gung-ho attitude, and they won their first 2 games when he took over as head coach. But then they have lapsed back. It was evident last week, and you just pointed out what's happening here. Here's Damian Williams on the reception, trying to work his way for additional yardage, and is down at the 20 by Jarrell Freeman. Good tackle there.
It's a one-possession game, and they came out in the second half completely flat with no sense of urgency.
It's exactly the story, and trying to, what did you used to say? If we're not going to be in postseason, let's knock out the Colts who want to be.
Team who want to be in.
So Matt Darr kicking again, and Quan Bray goes back deep. Well, look, there's no question about it that there are going to be changes, and it looms really for both teams for 2016. Darr kicking from about the 10. Bray at the 25. Trying to find running room. He's found some. And a good return by Bray to the 42-yard line, a 17-yard return. Well, what if you died and then were brought back to life? Well, this January, one man will find out. It's the intriguing new drama Second Chance series premiere, Wednesday, January 13th on Fox. Charlie Whitehurst, who began his pro career with the San Diego Chargers. First 4 years with San Diego, journeyed north to Seattle, back to San Diego for a couple of years, in the last 2 seasons with the Tennessee Titans. Starting at the 41. Frank Gore with 82 yards rushing. Here's Gore. And the Dolphins are there. Great penetration by Olivier Vernon.
And that was one of the matchups I said earlier in the game. Up until this point, Anthony Costanzo has been winning this battle at the line of scrimmage. So, yes, he may have just had a tackle on that play, but that's the life of an offensive lineman. You could block a guy 60 times in a game. He has 1 sack. That guy had an unbelievable game.
Here's Landry and going over some routes from an assistant coach. By the way, the Dolphins near the bottom of the league in so many categories, really playing much better defensively in this game than they have. Second down and 12 for Whitehurst. And this pass is caught, and a first down for T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton, who played at Florida International University, native here, as we said.
This is one thing when I said I had the Colts game. My daughter goes, that's the receiver that has the cool mouthpiece, right? Because you see he has the fangs on it.
That's what she knows. That's what girls notice.
Yeah. And they're not uniforms, they're outfits.
Back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving seasons for Hilton. And this pass is caught by Andre Johnson. Well thrown by Whitehurst. And it'll be a first down out to the 32-yard line of the Dolphins. Whitehurst now has completed 4 of 7 passes for 34 yards.
Those are back-to-back nice throws. The one to T.Y. Hilton to the sidelines, getting it over the top perfectly, and now delivering that one to Andre Johnson. He's playing with a lot of poise.
And he's the third stringer. First down on the 32 of Miami. Here's Gore on the screen, and Gore still about 5 yards shy of the first down by Rashad Jones. Well, in the NFC, the playoff picture, boy, Seattle and Minnesota continue to win. The Atlanta Falcons still alive, and they're still leading the Panthers 14-10, but they're going to need help if they're going to edge their way into the wild card. But how about the Washington Redskins clinching last night against the Eagles? Second down and 4 from the 26. And a whistle. False start.
False start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Khaled Holmes. 5-yard penalty. He's playing right guard right now, in place of Hugh Thornton. Brings up 2nd and 9. And a broken play as Boom Herron was had no chance to go anywhere, and a loss of 4 yards. What was that about?
I have no idea. That's where the inexperience of not being on the field with the run fits or what play that they were exactly trying to run here, just completely off. And you could see that the timing was off, the handoff was off, and what does it lead now to? A 3rd and 13.
Colts are 5 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Whitehurst, and the pass complete to T.Y. Hilton, and Hilton will have a first down. He makes it look so easy, doesn't he?
His start-stop ability, you see him plant his foot in the ground. Bryce McCain coming over to get the tackle, runs right by him, and he's able to turn it back up. See him right here in the slot position. They were moving him around to put him in different positions. Gets outside, clear, he puts his foot in the ground. McCain overruns it, is able to turn back up and get those yards after catch, like he's been doing all season.
15-yard gain. So Whitehurst is connected on a couple of 3rd down and 10 or more situations. One eventually led to a Colt touchdown in the first half. Frank Gore tackled and will lose a couple of yards. Lose 3. Olivier Vernon. Vernon coming into the game with 7 sacks, tied with Cameron Wake, who left the team with an Achilles injury after 7 games, and that was a huge loss for the defensive front.
The other biggest thing that he was able to do was get hits on the quarterback. Coming into this game, he had 26, so even when he wasn't able to come up with the sack, he still was letting his presence be known by opposing quarterbacks.
So again, a long yardage situation, and there is Cam Wade. 2nd down and 13. Back to the 23. And Whitehurst again going underneath, thrown a little bit behind Frank Gore. The pass is ruled incomplete.
Vernon has definitely turned it on in this past series. He had the 2 tackles, and he just had a pressure with an inside spin move. So this is, once again, here we are in another 3rd and long position. Let's spotlight this and see if he's able to come up with something.
3rd down and 13 on the 23. Boom Herron, former Bill, and has been really a solid receiver out of the backfield. And let's see if Whitehurst goes downfield with this one. Well, he hands off to Herron, and Herron going wide, and will be knocked out of bounds at the 20 after a gain of 3 by Neville Hewitt. Zach Vigil started, undrafted rookie from Utah State, and Hewitt from Marshall.
Said spotlight Vernon. They tried to put him inside, bringing the tight end over as in on the pursuit and still able to set the edge. But Boom Herron, follow your lead blocker. He bounced that one outside. If he stays in the inside hip of his guard, he's going to get some yardage.
Well, here's Adam Vinatieri looking for his 500th career field goal. He missed his first 2 of the year and has made 21 in a row. This will be from 38 yards. Here is Vinatieri. And it's number 500 for Adam Vinatieri. And it wasn't that long ago his kick won the Super Bowl for the Patriots over the Rams in the Superdome.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Sprint. Switch today and save. By the U.S. Army. And by Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for $1.49 only at BK.
And welcome back to Miami. And with that 500th field goal by Adam Vinatieri, he is third all-time behind Gary Anderson, who's in second place, and Morton Anderson with 565. And Morton Anderson, a candidate to get into the Hall of Fame this year.
Adam Vinatieri won't be far behind him.
There he is, 42 years old, the oldest player in the league. 26 career game-winning field goals. And the Dolphins will start this drive from the 20-yard line, trailing by 9. And that is Darren Rizzi. We've seen him excited before on a timeout that wasn't called. And over there chewing out one of the Dolphins, who will start from the 20-yard line. 18-9, the Colts are in front, but the Texans are running away with their game with the Titans, 34-0. Ryan Tannehill on first down. Landry with the catch. Landry gets away, and he'll get a first down. 3 Colts right in his face. None of them made a tackle, David.
That's what you love about Jarvis Landry. He is so competitive, and anytime that he needs to step up and make a play, somehow he makes it happen.
14 yards, matching his jersey number, and a first down at the 34. Tannehill, and Stills was there to make the catch. It'll be about a yard or so shy of the first down.
I've been waiting for that all day. He hasn't shown up. When you have double teams and bracket coverage to Devontae Parker and Jarvis Landry, you've got to rise to the occasion and come up with something.
Only his second catch of the game for 7 yards. They go back to it, and he'll pick up the first down close to midfield for Miami. Dolphins will close their season next week right here against the New England Patriots, who have a chance to clinch home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs today. And the Colts are home against Tennessee next week. First down. And Landry with another first down, and finally goes out of bounds. And so Jarvis Landry with 100 catches this season. First Dolphin player to have 100 receptions in a regular season. To no one's surprise what he's achieved, David.
To nobody here, because they see how he works and how he comes to prepare each and every week.
And a pass and a one-handed grab by Landry. What a play! Jarvis Landry pulling catches from under his sleeves. A magic man, 26 yards. Darius Butler is wondering what's going on here.
Well, his best friend, number 13, Odell Beckham Jr., had one last season. What a catch by Jarvis Landry. Unbelievable.
How about that LSU tandem, huh? And here's Tannehill, and the pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. It'll be incomplete. Kendall Langford with the tip. What a play this is.
Got to see this one again. The extension, the eye focus. One hand tucks it and still gets his arm underneath it to hold on to it.
Controls it beautifully.
It's one of the best catches I've seen all season. No doubt.
Yeah, that has to be. Second and goal at the 9. You think he's had the hot hand? Here is Tannehill into the end zone, overthrowing Landry. Wanted to go at him again. Toller was covered, but the pass was too long for Landry. And it'll be third down. Jarvis Landry. Puts himself in the Miami Dolphin record books. First Dolphin player to have 100 receptions and 1,000 receiving yards in the regular season. That's what he's done. They've had some great receivers here. Damian Williams comes in as a receiver out of the backfield, and they're going to go to Damian Williams. Williams takes 4 Colts to bring him down, about 2 yards short of the first down.
When adversity hits, you see the true character testing the man, and throughout that entire time, Jarvis Landry has risen to the occasion through all of it.
So it's 4th and goal, and the crowd disapproving the decision to send Andrew Franks on for a field goal. But Dan Campbell is here to win a football game.
I understand that, but at the same time, you want to be aggressive, and they've got nothing to lose.
20-yard field goal attempt for Franks. Only his 13th try of the season. Already has a 33-yarder, and this one is good. And so the Dolphins get back the 3 that Vinatieri got for the Colts. And it is now an 18-12 affair.
Today's game is sponsored by Amazon Fire TV. So long, showhole.
The Colts lead the Dolphins 18-12. That's the scoring drive, and Landry's 3 catches, including the last one, was simply magnificent. And it is an 18-12 game with 5:17 remaining in regulation. That's Philip Dorsett, the #1 draft pick for the Colts out of the University of Miami, and that will sail into the stands. Here's another look. No words needed. Colts will have a first down on the 20-yard line, leading by 6. Frank Gore, by the way, 72 of his 77 yards were achieved in the first half, has only 5 second-half yards on the ground. Here is Gore, and he's not going to get back to the line of scrimmage thanks to Ndamukong Suh, and a flag there. Back on the 18.
Defense, offside. Number 79, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's on Derek Shelby.
Jarvis Landry has 185 catches, which are most in the NFL history through the first 2 seasons. If you want a highlight reel, start with that one. Backpedaling into it, focus, body control, tucks it away. Like I said earlier, that is definitely one of the best catches I've seen all season, and matches his counterpart and friend, Odell Beckham Jr.
I have to agree. Here's Gore on first down and 5, and a first down. Good run by Gore. Well, coming up next, it's America's Game of the Week with a huge clash between the division leaders, the Packers and the Cardinals. Others will see the Rams and the Seahawks. America's Game of the Week coming up next here on Fox. Pretty good matchup there, huh?
Aaron Rodgers, Carson Palmer. Gotta love watching veterans duel it out like this.
Cardinals can clinch a first-round bye with the win. And the Packers battling the Minnesota Vikings for supremacy in the NFC North. They need to win and have the Vikings lose to the Giants, who've been eliminated thanks to the Redskins last night. Whitehurst, and the pass going right through Andre Johnson. Incomplete. Olivier Vernon making it difficult for Whitehurst with good pressure there.
That's the first hit that Whitehurst has taken since coming in. So he may have just gotten that one, and Vernon may have got the best of Costanzo on that one, but they've done a nice job of protecting him and putting him in positions where he can get rid of the ball quickly and still throw accurately.
Remember, the Colts did score a touchdown after Whitehurst came in for Matt Hasselbeck, who went out toward the end of the second quarter with the shoulder injury. Frank Gore has scored the 2 touchdowns for the Colts. Second down and 10. And Gore again will be dragged down, this time by Ndamukong Suh, and another penalty. Look at Vernon.
Offside. Defense. Number 50.
Boy, talk about body language there.
Replay, second down.
Vernon showed it there. Another penalty on the Dolphins. So right now, let's go out to L.A., check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Panther perfection in jeopardy. Shane Graham gives Atlanta a 4-point lead. Carolina has the ball just across their own 30. Just over 2 minutes left. Will this be their first loss? Dick? David?
Came close last week, Kurt, and we don't know what will happen now with Atlanta leading by 4 with 2:11 to go. And, of course, Carolina trying to remain undefeated. Atlanta, playoff hopes. They have to win, and they got to get somebody to hurt Seattle a little bit. Second down and 5. Fake to Gore. Whitehurst being chased by Suh. Throws it up, and it is caught by Jack Doyle. And Doyle will have close to first down yardage. Whitehurst, with his knee, may have been shaken up a bit. Well, let's see now. Carolina, this is what's at stake here for them. Number 1 seed, home field throughout the NFC playoffs. It'll be a first down for the Colts. Texans, by the way, leading 34-0 over the Titans. Colts needed some help from Tennessee today. But this race isn't over yet officially. And a timeout called by Indy. So now 2 timeouts left for the Colts, 18-12. Locked in another tight game as they were against Houston last week, which they lost at home.
Charlie Whitehurst took a shot here by Ndamukong Suh. They didn't have their play call ready, and you could see that he was shaken up. They took a timeout now. Let him come to the sidelines and regroup, because they do not want to have Charlie Whitehurst go down now.
No, Stephen Morris, who was picked up from the Eagles practice squad later in the week, was in the Jaguars camp as well. Originally a free agent rookie from Jacksonville. Played at the University of Miami, did Morris, and actually started the last 25 games he played with them.
Matt Hasselbeck going over the rules with them, because if you just got here this week, there is a lot to it. So it's a good thing Matt Hasselbeck's over there and to kind of help him out. But the other thing is, these quarterbacks a lot of time that aren't playing, they got a hat on and they have no idea where their helmets are.
Hasselbeck has the plays on his wrist, but not Morris. What's wrong with that picture? Handoff to Frank Gore. And now we're going to have a timeout called.
Short timeout. Miami, a 30-second timeout.
So the Dolphins have 2 remaining, as do the Colts. So another timeout called here. Whitehurst. There's one thing. It's really amazing that here the Colts are still in contention, despite the fact they've had their quarterbacks banged up. Really, I mean, that's amazing. They're up to their 3rd quarterback, and they have a 4th one waiting in the wings.
But this is the thing that has plagued the Colts all season, is finishing football games. 4-minute drives are all about an attitude and determination that if you really want the game better than the other team and you want it more, you get it done right now. 2nd and 11. Whitehurst swings it out, and it's Doyle again. And Doyle to the 45 with 3:02 on the clock. And another timeout. This by the Dolphins. They have 1 timeout remaining. And 3:02 on the clock. It's a 6-point game. Dolphins with a 3rd down and 10. They're looking to get the ball back and get a touchdown and an extra point. And that would be enough to win the game. Of course, before the end of this one, done deal. David's player of the game coming up. Got any hints? Yeah, I think I do, but we got to let this game finish. Can't give up the secret too early.
No, especially since the hero.
Well, apparently somebody is giving it away a little bit here.
Yeah, well, somebody has the lead maybe in the clubhouse, but not necessarily the winner yet. Whitehurst, third down, 3 of 5 for 29 yards. He's been effective on third down plays, being chased here and loses the ball, and it goes out of bounds. It was DeMontre Moore, the former New York Giant, who chased Whitehurst, and he throws his helmet and is limping.
I think it's a hamstring. He's grabbing that left leg, and I think that's what he pulled up with.
So Moore, the former Giant, penetrating and knocking him out of bounds. Well, at least the Colts don't have to think about the quarterback situation right now. It is fourth down, and Pat McAfee will be punting, and Jarvis Landry is back deep. So will Stephen Morris sign this week, make an appearance. And this punt by McAfee, a beauty, and that will be a touchback. And the Dolphins will start from the 20. Whitehurst angry about something. That was a 63-yard punt, by the way, by guys not going back to the Pro Bowl. Ryan Tannehill has completed 22 of 31, and there is Morris, who may be called upon to win a game for the Indianapolis Colts if Ryan Tannehill can lead a drive here.
But this is a tough spot to be in if you're the Miami Dolphins. Why? What do you have? One timeout left.
Because they had plenty of time to get the ball back. There was enough time. They weren't down to the last minute or so. But here's Tannehill, and he's pushed down. And a good play there made. Fourth sack of the game by T.Y. McGill, whose first sack resulted in a safety for the Colts.
Just a simple bull rush. He runs right over Dallas Thomas, who gets on his heels, and
they lost 9. Here's Landry up to the 21. Still need about 10 yards for the first down. And we're winding down to the 2-minute warning. Let's see if the Dolphins get a play off, and they should before 2 minutes remain. Tannehill nearly has the ball slapped out of his hands. Trying to buy time, and the pass is incomplete. And it was Jordan Cameron defended by Mike Adams, and a flag is down back where Tannehill got rid of the football.
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer called against Eric Walden, who spent 3 years with the Dolphins.
This is the 2-minute warning.
And the 2-minute warning at 1:56. Here is the hit. Yep, roughing the passer, and we'll be right back. And we've had our 2-minute warning with the Colts leading 18-12. The Miami Dolphins needing a touchdown and an extra point to take the lead, have one timeout remaining. It'll be a first down following the roughing the passer call against the Colts on the 36 of the Dolphins. Tannehill looking, receivers are covered, but he can use his legs, and he does to get the first down. Still going is Tannehill, and he gets inside the 40-yard line. Big run by Ryan Tannehill when the receivers were covered, and he gets 28 yards. Lining up still with one timeout remaining. From the 37, and a screen pass to Lamar Miller. And Miller will step out of bounds about a yard and a half shy of the first down. Picking up 7.
Nice job by Tannehill, knowing there was nothing to get to downfield. Good coverage on the back end by the Colts. Doesn't try forcing anything. He sees a seam and a lane open up and uses his athletic ability to continue to drive forward and keep the Dolphins alive in this football game.
Last game-winning performance for Ryan Tannehill was against the Eagles. It'll be second down and 3 from the 30. Still with a timeout left for the Dolphins. Tannehill giving a lot of ground. And the pass will be caught. And inbounds is Landry, and the clock continues to run. Nearly a minute remaining. A 14-yard pickup. Remember, the Dolphins need a touchdown and an extra point to take the lead. They're on the 16 now of the Colts. Tannehill goes down, tackled by Kendall Langford. 5 sacks and a loss of 7.
Second timeout.
And a timeout call. Tannehill is limping, but first let's go out to L.A. Mike Hill with the game break.
All right, Panthers undefeated season in series jeopardy. Shane Graham 54-yard field goal made it 20-13, and Cam Newton just fumbled with just 1 minute and 2 seconds to go. So it looks like the Falcons about to win it. The 72 Dolphins, they might be able to light up those cigars, fellas.
All right, Mike, what a shocker, because the Carolina Panthers would have wrapped up home field throughout the playoffs, and Atlanta leading 20-13 with 1:02, and the New England Patriots are tied with the Jets with 33 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, with the Patriots with a chance to wrap up the AFC home field. But here it's a 2nd and 18, Dave.
And this drive is all stemming back. They were pretty much stopped, but that Eric Walden personal foul late hit on the quarterback is what allowed them to continue to stay alive in this football game and drive down the field.
Meanwhile, the 5 sacks, a season's high for the Colts. 2nd down and 18 on the 22 of Indy. And here's Tannehill, and it's Landry again, breaks a tackle. And Landry trying to drive for the first down, and he may have it.
Drives for the first down and gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Darius Butler missed the tackle, and a 19-yard play. It'll be 1st and goal for the Dolphins. 8th play of the drive coming up, and the fans here in the stadium on their feet. Doesn't matter what your record is. Come from behind and win a game late, and they haven't done it yet. The fans would love it. 1st and goal at the 5. And Tannehill looking, firing, incomplete. And it was Landry again, the intended receiver, and covered by Greg Toller.
I know that they've been trying to move the pocket, and we've seen it more here in the second half than in the first half, but it hasn't been successful for them. They haven't had any completions off of it. When they've protected him and when they've given him time in the pocket, that's when he's been able to deliver accurately and keep this Colts defense and secondary on their heels.
And the Dolphins out of timeouts. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 5. Here's Ryan Tannehill on 2nd and goal from the 5, incomplete. The Miami Dolphins are trying to get a victory over the Indianapolis Colts, and we welcome the audience that saw the Dolphin players and coaches from 72 breathe easier now, because the Carolina Panthers' perfect season has come to an end, and looming large is the Dolphins still finishing 17-0. And we know David Deal's Giants spoiled the Patriots bid for 19-0. Meanwhile, 3rd and goal from the 5. Tannehill on 3rd down and goal, and his pass incomplete, and a terrific play made by Darius Butler on Jarvis Landry. This game is up for grabs here with 27 seconds left.
Nice tight coverage, is able to beat him to the point, doesn't let the slant beat him across his face, and bounces back after that big catch that Jarvis Landry had over him.
So this is the 11th play of the drive, and Damian Williams in there. Colts slim playoff hopes. And now a timeout called by Indy. They have 1 left. 1 timeout left for the Indianapolis Colts in this game. The Houston Texans leading 34-0 in the game. But I think this is what NFL football is all about. David Deal, and that is the fact that you could be 5-9 and you want to win this game. Frank Gore scored 2 touchdowns. The Colts led at halftime, but the Dolphins came back. Both starting quarterbacks have been hurt. Tannehill has remained in there, but Hasselbeck had to come out for Whitehurst.
He did. Hasselbeck had to come out. Whitehurst comes in. Whitehurst is limping with what looks like a hamstring, so they're unsure of their quarterback position. But this is what has plagued the Indianapolis Colts all season, the inability to put the nail in the coffin and end games and beat football teams.
But it's right here on 4th and goal. And Tannehill is down at the 15-yard line. The 6th sack of the game by the Colts. And it was Langford and T.Y. McGill combining there. And a battered Ryan Tannehill comes off the field. And the last-ditch hope for the Miami Dolphins dissolves.
I don't even have to say anything.
Everything collapsed in front of him.
The biggest thing that you have to know is the snap count. And obviously the offensive line didn't all move. The center snapped it. Cost them the game.
And the Colts take over on downs. Frustrating game, underscoring a frustrating season for the Dolphins, who likely will drop to 5-10. Meanwhile, for the Colts, Robert Mathis right in the middle of it. 6 sacks. Mathis had 1.5. And the Colts win. Meanwhile, Houston is up 34-6. So it's possible right at this moment the Colts are still alive. However, the strength of victory scenario, the tiebreaker on strength of victory, which goes deep in games yet to be played, could determine the Colts' fate later on. But right now the Colts remain alive, and they have won by a score of 18-12. For David Deal and Christina Pink, Dick Stockton saying so long. Now let's go to the State Farm Game Break Show with Kurt Menefee and the boys in Los Angeles.